Warlords of Draenor, is it worth a buy? Well, this is my part 2 of my review, and this part covers the end game. First of all, I just want to tell you how long it took me to get to 100 playing casually. Now, casually for me was maybe it's an hour a night, a couple hours here and there. I did it in just over a week. There was 2 of us essentially going all the way through, and it was quite easy. There was a lot of world PvP on the way. That was simply because you cannot fly in Draenor, and unfortunately they're going to allow flying soon, in a few months I believe, and they just shouldn't. At the end of the day, riding on the ground with your mounts means that yes, it might take an extra couple of minutes to get where you want to go, but you are going to run into the opposite faction all the time because you can't just fly around them. And it brings on world PvP. This is what made vanilla WoW so good, because everybody was all over the place. Azeroth was just a very, very busy place, and at this moment in time Draenor is a very busy place. There's people all over the place farming, trees, animals, skinning, mining, and you can't just take off and just get away from somebody who's going to try and kill you. There is no escape essentially, so you have some really fun times. I mean, just this morning when I logged on to do me dailies, there was one of the guildies was getting raped in Nagrand. The Horde were camping one of the daily quests and just killing people. Yeah, and that's fun though, guys. See, that's fun. I've got my garrison up to level 3. I've expanded my mine shaft. I've got a herb little place going on. I've got my engineers workshop going on. So that's expanded nicely. I'm still enjoying the garrisons. I am a bit alarmed at how much ore you can get. Anybody can have a mine and they can get quite a bit of ore every single day. That is a bit worrying. The other thing that bugs me about the garrisons is they're all kind of tailored to your professions. Well, they should be. As an engineer, I can't make shit without gear sprockets. And you can only craft, I think it's 2 a day. And then you have as many work orders as you can do a day, which is not many. So you don't get many sprockets a day. Maybe it's 10 or so. A little bit more, maybe it's 10, between 10 and 15, I think. I haven't counted. And just to make the goggles costs 100. Then to upgrade them costs another 150. You cannot buy these sprockets anywhere on the AH because they're soul bound. You can trade. There is a primal spirit vendor where you can trade primal spirits for them, but you don't get a lot of primal spirits. I mean, I think I've got about 300 of them, and you don't get a lot of sprockets for your 300 primal spirits. So Blizzard have really, really nerfed crafting so that it is now a hell of a grind to get any kind of decent gear, and the crafting doesn't seem as many options as an engineer. I don't know what the other ones is like, but certainly the engineer doesn't have a great many things to craft. Very disappointing. Crafting is one of the big things in World of Warcraft. It's what made World of Warcraft stand out. The crafting's always been good, but it's gone down a bit in Warlords. I'm not as impressed as it was in any of the other expansions. There was shitloads more. Hopefully, because it's just dropped, there's going to be more recipes coming, but certainly at the moment they're a bit thin on the ground. Yeah, so that was a bit disappointing. And the grind is just shit. The PvP sets, I've got my full PvP set just through grinding honor in the battlegrounds. It was quite good fun actually. Didn't feel like I was grinding. I was just having fun. So I didn't mind that. And then I went to get my next set because the PvP season just started, and you use conquest points to get the next tier up. I don't do arenas because they are mind-numbingly boring. I don't do rated battlegrounds because I'm not in a pre-made, and to get in a pre-made you have to stand outside Stormwind masturbating over your PvP rating or what eye level your gear is. So I don't bother with that. So all I wanted to do was what I've been doing in WoW for years and years and years, and that is for your first win in a battleground you used to get I think it was 75 conquest points. Well, that's been nerfed now. You only get 50 now, and the worst thing about it is you can only earn 1700 in a week, which is not even enough to buy the first bit of gear. So you have to grind them for a week, and then you can buy the gear halfway through your next week, which is stupid. It just gets worse. To get the weapons, you need to have earned 7,000 plus conquest points in a season, so you can't even get them for weeks and weeks and weeks. The best laugh is though, to get any of the decent gear you have to have rep with Rin's Vanguard. What's Rin's Vanguard then? I hear you all ask. Well, that is the new big thing in Draenor. It's the huge PvP zone. That's right. It's called Ashran. You have got to get rep in Ashran in order to buy the rest of your gear. So how do you go about that? Well, you join this big 200 player battle, which, if you can get in, big queues just to get in, because everybody has to get in now to get the gear. See, you have to get little fragments, the little, I don't know what they're called, the little shitty, I'm so uninterested in Ashran, I don't even know what they're called, but then you get these little fragments. Every time you kill an enemy player, you can loot them and get 2 little fragments, or if you kill a beast, you might get 2 off the beast. So it's not really a good way, considering you need something like 3,000 of them just to get from neutral to friendly. So you have to play the battle. You have to just grind the Battle of Ashran. And this revolves around this complex game where you have a giant tree if you're the Alliance, and if you're Horde, you have a giant rock monster. To get them to come out and play, you have to hand in lots of these little tokens. Then they come out to play and they walk from one end of the map to the other towards the enemy base. The enemy team then try to kill your big monster while you try to kill their big monster. So you're not actually fighting the enemy PvPers, you're fighting this PvE monster that has a billion gazillion hit points. And then just as you're about to kill him, he evades and resets back to full health. Yeah, that happens all the time. If you're bored with the PvE of that, you can branch off from the main area of the map and kill lots of the mobs. Oh, that's PvE as well, isn't it? Yeah, I was just going to say there's an ogre boss comes, which can give you a big advantage. You kill all the ogres and you trigger this ogre boss, and that's PvE again though, isn't it? Because then that triggers an ogre boss which the enemy faction have to kill. So they're doing PvE again, killing the ogre boss as well as your tree or your rock monster. But there's also rare elites all over the place that give you lots of fragments. But that's PvE again then, isn't it? Right, hang on. There's lock boxes. You can get keys and you can open lock boxes which give you your whole faction a boost in damage and healing. But again, that's PvE again. Hang on. I'm sure there's some PvP in the PvP zone. I can't. No, actually, no, it's all PvE actually when I think about it. If you want to... Yes, that's right. Sorry, let's come back to it now. Yes, if you want to win the PvP battle, whatever you do, don't do PvP. That's right. Do PvE. That's right. Let's come back. I'm with it now. Yes. To win the PvP zone, you PvE. That's what you do. You PvE the big monsters and you PvE the boss. You've got to kill the Horde boss and they've got to kill the Alliance boss, which obviously is PvE. So there's no PvP really. Only noobs would PvP in the PvP zone, because that would get you nowhere really. So that's Ashran. It's a complete mind-numbingly boring experience. It's just AoE. You just have 2 big groups of people AoEing each other's mobs. That's it. And you move an inch at a time, and then you get to the end boss and kill him, and then it all starts to move the other way, then they kill yours, then it goes back and forth, and for that you get rep, and that's once you've queued 2 hours to get in. So that's that. So that's about it really. So Warlords of Draenor started off great, looked fabulous, the Garrisons was exciting, the questing was great because it was all world PvP, and then you reach end game and then you hit a fucking wall the size of the one in China, and it is awful. It is boring. It is just repetitive. Blizzard have fucked this up royally. They've made a PvP zone where you don't really PvP. It's just fucking mind-numbing. So much so that I'm pretty much ready to quit. Which I'm pleased about, because I didn't really want to get sucked into it again. Warlords of Draenor endgame is absolutely mind-numbingly boring and futile, and you're just being forced to do stuff you don't want to do. And for that reason, I'm going to say Warlords of Draenor, is it worth a buy? Nope. And I have to say that the breasts in this game are exquisite. I know that might sound perverted, but my wife isn't in, she's at work, so it's fine. I can talk about breasts as much as I want, and chances are she's not going to watch this video. If she does, I'll probably get a frying pan in the face. But hey, breasts, guys, big bouncy breasts. Every time you talk to an NPC that's female, the first thing she does is jiggle her breasts, because that's the problem. I don't like the art style of this game. It's very kiddified. It's cartoony, and I just, really, do I want to play a fucking rabbit? Do I? No, I fucking don't want to play a fucking rabbit.